Hello all, this is Damini, co-founder of VMix Scholars. I welcome you to yet another episode of my series Discover Study Abroad. So today I have Yashwanth here with me, who is a student aspiring to go to the US for fall 2022 intake. So Yashwanth is a fellow YouTuber as well, and he has made more than 50 videos helping students like you who are planning to go to the US. And he has made videos on everything about tests, about university applications, about experience with that, about visa, everything. So I'm very excited to talk to him. So it's a very different video from my other videos because I have brought the student sharing the experience right here at our office in Hyderabad. So very excited to talk to you, Yashwanth. Thanks a lot for coming.
It's okay. It's my pleasure.
Yeah. So Yashwanth, can you introduce briefly yourself for my audience? Like, what sort of profile you have, what sort of scores did you, get in your test scores and even your GPA?
Yeah, so basically, talking about myself, my name is Yashwanth, and also I'm a student planning for fall 2022 intake. And apart from that, my profile is like a normal average profile. So I have a GRE score of 319 and I have a score of 3.5, and IELTS score of 7.5, and my GRE. And my CGPA is 7.8, and I don't have any kind of research papers. I have a couple of internships and also a little bit of projects on my GitHub and everything.
Okay, got it. Yashwanth, now you have told me about GRE. The first question which I'm going to ask you, which I'm very excited to ask you here is, I saw one of your videos which talks about GRE at home.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned that, some people, their scores got cancelled and they were deported back, which sounded like, very scary to me. So I wanted to know like the real truth before I actually get to the standard questions.
Yeah. So all of this, the ruckus started when one of the ex-consultancy posted a deportation letter on the Instagram.
Okay.
So many of the students were forwarding the screenshots to me on Instagram. Even I was shocked after.
So you also wrote GRE at home?
Yeah,
right? Okay.
yeah. Even I wrote GRE at home in November 2020. So basically, all of this started with that consultancy posting, and as I told you earlier, even I saw that and it was shocking to me. So I basically took that screenshot of the consultancy and mailed it to that one particular university where the consultancy was telling that the students were deported.
Okay.
I got a reply telling that all of this news that consultancy has been putting up on the Instagram story is fake. So I got an assurance from the university itself that nothing like that is happening in the university, and no students were getting deported from the university. So then I made a video to help, to make this information reach out to many of the students planning for 2020 intake, that all of this news was fake and this is what is the ground reality of things happening.
So, but were the scores getting cancelled? Okay, deportation is one thing, but scores were getting cancelled. Is that a real news?
Yeah, GRE at home scores were getting cancelled if they had taken any kind of external help while writing the exam.
Okay, so I think that sort of ambiguity was there. Some people might have taken help. Okay, so now let's go to like a little bit of standard question, because this was something which was there in my mind and I wanted to ask you. So now Yashwanth, when other fellow students who are planning for, let's say, this fall, or even those who are watching your videos might be planning for next fall as well, so what sort of preparation do you recommend them, when it comes to IELTS or GRE? What are the resources they can use and what sort of time they should put actually in preparing for these exams?
So preparing for GRE would take at least 3 to 4 months, and then preparing for IELTS. If you have already prepared for GRE, you would be familiar with a lot of vocab part, so that wouldn't need a lot of brushing up. So coming to IELTS is much more simpler exam when compared to GRE. So IELTS, if you had prepared for GRE for 3 to 4 months, then IELTS would take at least 1 month. That is very much enough for IELTS preparation. And then you can write many free online tests that are available, and you can know at what point you stand in, and then you can directly book a slot for GRE and IELTS and then write the examination.
Sure. Just a question, if you can share, did you actually go to any preparation classes for GRE or IELTS?
Yeah, initially from when I started my process of even preparing, I never took any help of any coaching center or anything like that. From from preparing for the examinations to even booking a visa slot, everything was by myself.
So that is, I think, something very unheard of. I think my next question is going to be that. So I think I generally hear from people that they would rely on consultancy help, which is not something which is I wouldn't say it's bad, but I feel that a lot of students lose that touch, or get used to that spoon feeding. They don't rely on their own research. They just get the information what consultancy is telling them and rightly go with that, which I feel is wrong. I think people should have some sense into like what they are doing, what course they are taking, why are they taking that course. Some research on that should be done. So I want to ask you, like, because you are that one person I know that who did everything on your own, even test preparation, even university selection, even application, even the visa process. So do you actually require a consultancy, or actually students can do everything on their own and it's just a fear?
Yeah, so basically, if you have a little bit of patience and a little bit of time to spend on the research, you can do everything by yourself, even up to booking a visa slot and filling your DS 160 and each and everything. But during this process, you might need help of people who are experts in this case, or at least they have gone through that process.
Seniors and all.
Yeah, seniors or your family members, cousins, or whomever it is. You need to at least have someone who's guiding you whenever you face a problem. So in my case, I had many cousins who are in USA, and I have few of my seniors who are in very good universities. So I had the guidance. Whenever I faced any problem, I just used to text them on WhatsApp, and I used to get a good response from them, and most of the times I used to clear all of my doubts like that. And there are many student groups available on different platforms where you can connect with students who are planning to go for the same intake, and then according to that you can take help from them and you can also help them. So in that case, you're helping each other, and you can do each and everything by yourself, because most of the process is online. There isn't any process where you have to go to the post office and drop your documents and send it to the university or something like that, right? So most of the process is online, and all you need to do is upload your documents, and then you need to do everything on the internet without any external help. So in my opinion, if someone asked me today, I would directly tell them that if you're going for an application process to the consultancy, try to avoid it, because the consultancies would push student to go for a university where they are much lenient to go for and make the student go for.
True.
So that is the only reason why I asked to avoid consultancies. But if you have taken a genuine review from a senior who has gone through that consultancy and his experience was good, just go to the consultancy. But even going with any consultancy, try to do your own research before just blindly trusting them.
So I think that's very important information, Yashwanth, because see, even I know people, they do not have anyone they know who have gone abroad, so they kind of become a little dependent. But see, research, we are all educated people, right? And when you're going for it at a master's level, you have done your graduation, so you have a little bit of Googling skills, I would say. So you can Google and you can find that information about employability, about the course and all those things. So I think that was something kind of unheard of, and you shared that with us. So Yashwanth, now because you did everything on your own, I am sure it would have taken little higher time, which otherwise a student would take who is going through a consultancy, because that's, I'm sharing from my personal experience. When I also went, other people who are going through consultancy, they know what is the next step. But for a person like me who's applying on own, I have to sit and do a little bit of research. So what sort of timeline do you recommend? I mean, irrespective of whether I'm going through a consultancy or I'm going through on my own, when should students write tests? When should they start preparing for it? What kind of general deadlines universities have? What is the right time to apply for visa? If you can just give like a timeline sort of thing, it will be very helpful, I think.
Yeah. So basically, there are different intakes that many of the universities follow. And if you're talking about USA and Canada, there are like two major intakes. There's one intake which is not that major, but many people go for it. They're like fall intake and spring intake is a major intake where many people go. And there's one other intake that is summer intake. So many people don't prefer going for summer, so I wouldn't talk much about it.
Let's talk about fall, I think, because I think 70% of the people talk about
So talking about fall, you can start writing your examinations in the month of May, June or July.
Previous year.
Previous year. So if you're planning to go for fall 2023, now is the right time to start writing examinations, preparing for them, and all of those things.
Okay.
By September, try to wind up all of these examinations and try to gather all of the documents that are required for your application process.
And just breaking you there, I think you are recommending to write the test in May, even though you are telling them to be ready by September, because what if they have to rewrite? Right? Okay.
Yeah, in that case, you have to rewrite, then you'll have an extra time to prepare and again write.
So by September,
you should have ready. I mean, you should be ready with all of the scores that you require to apply.
Okay.
And in the month of September, in September first week and second week, what you can do is you can take letter of recommendations and you can work on your SOP and you can work on your shortlisting of universities.
Time-taking thing.
Yeah, and also in some cases the universities might require transcripts or grade cards or memo sheets or whatever you call it. So you need them at least until 6th semester for applying to universities. So in that case, all of this collection of documents would take at least 1 to 3 weeks. So by end of September, try to start working on the applications, filling out the applications. And applications don't take a huge amount of time. If you are just filling it by yourself, it won't take much of a time. And again, rather than going to consultancy, if you're doing this process by yourself, you can wind it up in just 1 week. You can complete applications applying to 10 universities in 1 week. That's what I actually did.
But with consultancies, you're saying it will take longer.
But with consultancies, it will take longer because rather than you, they have many other students who are along with them and they need to apply for them too, right? So that is the reason why if you're doing it by yourself, you can wind it up within a week. And then after that, you can just relax and wait for the decision. So once you get the decision, maybe if you're applying in September fall 2020 intake, maybe if you're applying for September for the fall intake, it might take at least 6 months or 4 months or 5 months depending on the university for decision. So once you get the decision.
But by January, I think you can expect, if you're applying in September, October.
Actually, some of the universities have rolling basis admits and some, even though they get the application in September, they have a strict guideline of releasing the admits in March and April. So by the worst case, if you're going with the worst case, by at least April mid, you might get all of the decisions of the universities. But even before that, if you get into a very good university that you're looking to go for, you can directly take the I-20 from them by submitting the financial document that you take from VMake Scholar and then get the I-20 and then just fill in the DS-160 and do your hard work and then get the visa slot, because finding a visa slot is very difficult. You need to monitor it 24/7 for Telegram groups and all of these things. So get a visa slot and then go attend your visa. Once it's approved, book a flight ticket, pack your bag and leave India.
Great. But Yashwanth, one question there, because see, most of the people I know of or personally I have spoken to, they generally apply for visa in the month of April or May. But then I think you have applied for it quite early, we are speaking here in the month of March and you've already filed it. So do you think it's a lot of people like you who apply early, or it's just handful of people who apply so early?
The university that I was planning to go for, I got the decision in the January 1st week itself. So what I did was I immediately got the I-20 from them, and at the same time, using an I-20 of another different university from where I got the admit, I was looking for visa slots. So in my case, I did each and everything at least looking at the worst case, because in my mind, I always think about worst case scenario rather than the best case scenario. So I plan to avoid a disaster rather than thinking about it in the last moment. So that's how I did each and everything, even dropping the applications at the earliest stage of September and then waiting for the decisions. And as soon as I got 3 or 4 admits, I decided which one was the best for me, and based on that I booked a visa slot. So I actually booked my visa slot in January for May. So on May 2nd, it's my biometrics, and May 13th is my visa consular date. So that date I booked in January of 2022.
So I think you got the slots also very easily because you had
literally in my case, I paid the visa slot fees today.
Acha.
The next day, the slots got activated. I mean, I got the access to look at the slots, and then I just selected Hyderabad option. I didn't find any slot. The next was Chennai. I saw randomly the slot. I found it and I booked it. But in my friend's case, they have been searching for slots since almost 2 to 3 months, but they didn't have any luck in finding them.
So I think applying early helps people in that way also, because so many people say that eventually I'm not able to go because I'm not getting visa slot.
Yeah.
So I think that was something. So I think one good thing you did is like you were very clear on where you want to go. I think people keep waiting for their acceptances or the results only until like March ending or April first week, which I think is where they miss out on the slots and all. Okay, great. So that was like a lot of information. So Yashwanth, my last question to you, second last I would say, is that, you know, because you told about your scores and all, I'm sure people who are watching this would want to know which universities did you actually apply to, and where all, you know, you got the admit, and maybe course if you can just tell us the area. So can you share that information with us?
Yeah, absolutely. So I applied to over 10 universities. The list is huge, but I'll just give you a gist of it. I applied to UMKC, University of Missouri at Kansas City, Clemson University, University of North Carolina at Charlotte, State University of New York at Albany, also known as University at Albany or Sunny Albany, and the last one is NJIT, and there's another one, I guess, Cleveland State University. So I applied to all of these universities, and I prioritize them as ambitious, moderate, and safe. So if you want, you can check out the videos on my channel.
So you have told about that.
I have explained about each and everything, and also I explained about why I applied to that particular university. Talking about each and every university. So you can check that out.
So guys, you can go to Yashwanth's channel and check out those videos in detail. Okay. So but then, did you get the admit from all the places, or have you shared that in your?
So I have shared about all of the admits and rejects that I received, but I'm still waiting for other decisions. I mean, I'm just waiting to make videos on it. I have already fixed on one particular university, that is Sunny Albany.
Okay.
So that was all of the universities that I applied to, and all of that admits and rejects.
And what kind of courses did you apply for?
I only applied to Masters in Computer Science. That was a common course that I applied to.
Got it. So now my last question before we wrap this session, because we have already taken so much information from you. So you did tell us that, you know, you did the whole process on your own, which I think is still fine. But I think when it comes to the visa part, people get very scared when they're not having any expert help. But then you filed your DS 160 on your own, you booked your biometric slots on your own. So what do you think? I mean, do people should worry about their visa interview, or is it fine? I mean, you can do it on your own.
Yeah, so I'll divide this question into multiple parts. So talking about booking a visa slot, all you need to do is fill in DS 160 and then monitor for a visa slot 24/7. So filling a DS 160 is really a difficult part, because it's around 30 pages that you need to fill in, and all of it is about your personal information. You need to be very careful before filling it, because that is one document that the visa consular officer will be looking into it. So if you are initially someone who doesn't know how to fill the DS 160, all you can do is just fill in the first page of DS 160, generate the DS 160 number, just link it up with your visa account, and then book a visa slot. And then if you have someone to guide you, just 1 month before your visa slot, you can change the DS 160, fill in a fresh DS 160, or you can fill the same DS 160 completely and then submit it. Even at the last moment, such as 1 hour before the visa interview, if you think that there are any mistakes in DS 160, you can always generate a new DS 160 and fill the DS 160 and then link it up with your visa account. And then you can carry that document to the visa consular officer. Okay. So that is one thing. You don't have to worry about DS 160. The next thing is about visa slots. You have to worry about it, because finding a visa slot is not very easy, at least for fall 2022 intake, because there are around 3 lakh students who are applying to fall 2022 intake. And when compared to the last intake, there were around like 70,000 to 1 lakh students only going. So as the competition is huge, there are difficulties in finding a visa slot, and also due to COVID and many other restrictions in different states, it is so difficult to find a visa slot.
I'll just pause you there.
Yeah.
I think people, you should know that you have to fill in the slot as early as possible, because Yashwanth has done it very quickly, very early in the month of January. You should also be very concerned about that. Okay.
Yeah. So apart from that, if you have anything to worry about is your financial documents. I mean, if you're planning to carry a CA evaluation certificate or something like that, you need to, secure all of the documents from your parents. You need to get it to your CA and get that document 1 month before your visa slot. And you need to keep track of all of the documents that you need to carry. Basically, you need to jot down and make a checklist of all of these documents that you need to carry for visa interview. Instead of, going to the visa office and while the officer is taking your interview and is asking for some X document and you don't have that document with you, they'll simply tell that we are pausing your visa interview for this moment. We need additional documents. Please come back and book another slot and come back. So instead of facing that situation, try to make a checklist. Try to carry each and every document that is required actually for the visa interview, and then go for the visa interview. Just be confident with your answers. Try to impress them, and try to basically sell yourself that you will go, just pursue your education and then come back. That's the major point that you need to keep in your mind.
So, but I think if you have everything prepared and everything is like in place, I think they need not worry that much that their visa would get rejected. That's not how it works. If you're a good student, if you have a good story, and if you have all documents in place, you need not worry. And if you're taking a loan, that loan document can suffice the financial document requirement.
All they would be concentrating is your own story, whether you will be coming back or not, your financial documents, and also the last question would be why that particular university. You need to be sure why you're going to that particular university.
You should have all the reasons in place why that course.
Instead of saying a generic answer like this course curriculum is good, the professors are good, that is the only reason why I'm going to that university. Try to catch one specific point. For suppose you are going for a specialization, called cybersecurity in computer science. Tell them that this cybersecurity course is very good ranked compared to all of the other universities in USA. Or you can tell them that the cybersecurity course has excellent professors who are doing their research in XYZ area. Try to specify and try to give in more particular details about each and every question that you're answering. That would surely help you in cracking your visa interview. These are the tips that I'm planning to
use on
myself. Once these work, I'll make another video on my channel telling you that today I got my visa.
Got it. So Yashwanth, that was a lot of information. I think what you have done till now and what you are going to do in the next coming months also, I think you shared information on everything. So guys, I want to thank you for watching this entire video, and I want to thank Yashwanth for coming and sharing all that information with us. So do subscribe to my channel as well as to Yashwanth's channel, because he also makes videos in detail for students who are going to the US. And I make videos on the financial aspects, education loans and scholarships. So do check that out. And we are also planning to do an Instagram live together, wherein again we'll ask each other questions. So do check that out as well. And we have done this as a collab video. So there's another video on Yashwanth's channel wherein I'm talking about the funding aspects, how you apply through VMX Scholars and what all different options are available. So do check that video out as well. So that's it. Bye bye. See you in my next video.
Bye bye.
Don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell icon to never miss any updates from us.